In case you haven't heard, Jak and Daxter, the first one, is available on PC due to OpenGoal, the scripting language used to recreate Goal, which is what Jak and Daxter 2 were coded in. And because of that, we've had something interesting happen.
On April 25th, 2025, a fan game based on Jak 1 was released featuring a brand new story and all new levels. This is very cool, as while this isn't the first time custom levels have been made with OpenGoal, it is certainly the most in-depth fan content released so far. The only downside is that it's not done, but apparently it has a nice ending point. So shout out to Kutar5 and HatKid for making it, but also...
Shut the f*** up about it! I'm just here to make a suggestion. Before old Mr. C&D shows up.
Welcome to Necro News, the show where we cover the hottest gaming news from the last week. While everyone was busy with Oblivion, we've got Russia attempting to seize World of Tanks, Nintendo being sneaky sneaks and releasing the price of their games, which is too much, Post-Trauma getting a spiritual re-release, it came out on Thursday, and so much more.
So subscribe to the channel and leave a like to stay up to date, and to also help the channel, because every like really helps. Can you believe that Todd did a good thing? I mean, I guess he's never really done a bad thing, but he lies a lot, like about the chess club. But anyway, with everyone discussing various aspects of the Oblivion Remaster, some better than others, one thing people were wondering about was what was going to happen to Skyblivion, which is a Skyrim mod that ports the entirety of Oblivion into Skyrim, which was also supposed to release later this year.
Well, for starters, the Skyblivion team isn't bitter towards the remake at all. In fact, they're actually happy there are two different remasters being released this year between their work and Bethesda's, stating that they enjoy the fact that there is an official version as well as a community altered and fixed version.
Fixed version, I still don't know what that means. What comes as a surprise to literally everyone is that Bethesda, instead of cease and desisting them, actually gave the entire Skyblivion team keys for Oblivion Remastered. I will now, due to this, give a small bit of hope towards Elder Scrolls 6, if it ever comes out.
We played the demo for Post-Trauma all the way back in 2021. It's a game heavily inspired by Silent Hill, Resident Evil, and other survival horror games from that era. You play an out-of-shape train conductor named Toga, who finds himself in a weird place after a panic attack.
The demo was so stunning and memorable that it left an impression on even Ellie, who, might I add, barely remembers that she played the entirety of Child of Light. The problem, however, is that the game was released on April 22nd, which was unfortunately the same day that the Oblivion Remaster shadow dropped. It sucks, but it happens. But is Red Soul Games taking this lying down?
Nope. Instead of rolling over and falling into Oblivion, haha.
Oh, brother!
They've done something very amusing for creative marketing. They'll be doing a spiritual re-release of the game, calling the new game Post-Trauma the re-release, except we're not unreleasing it first and it's pretty much the same. That is the entire title.
Why on June 23rd? Well, according to them, it's totally random, and not at all how long it takes to beat Oblivion, approximately. They did clarify, however, that they will not actually be removing the game from purchase during the time, but that on the re-release day, there will be giveaways, streams, and celebration, and honestly good for them for making light of this situation. Not that they had to, I mean, look at Expedition 33.
Le rêve.
Sakura Wars, despite being what might as well be a flagship series for Sega, hasn't exactly had the best release schedule in the West, with the only games receiving official releases being Sakura Wars 5, So Long My Love, and the 2019 Sakura Wars game. For those of you who don't know what they are, they're basically a fun mech strategy, RPG, and dating sim that takes place in the 1920s to 1940s.
Sakura Wars 1 received a fan translation back in 2019 for the Saturn version of the game, and now the same translation team has released a full translation of Sakura Wars 2, also for the Saturn version. We'll link the translations down below if you want to check them out, but if you haven't played them before, I recommend it. I own the collector's version of the 5th one. World of Tanks and World of Warships are popular military vehicle shooters. It's about to go through some really rocky stuff legally, as it seems that the Russian government is going to attempt to seize all assets for the company that owns the games. Which is complicated as there are two different versions of the games owned by two different companies that technically don't have anything to do with each other.
But first, a disclaimer if we get anything wrong. We got this information from a Russian news site, and while we did have help translating and confirming the information, there's still a chance that we got something wrong. That said, keep in mind the following info. Bethesda Studio is located in the CIS region, and Bethesda's former parent company, Wargaming, had transferred all the rights to both games to Lesta after the war with Ukraine started. Now Booster can continue this because he's the one learning Russian.
To take it straight from the article, the Prosecutor General's office has asked Moscow's Tagansky District Court to prohibit the activities of the association consisting of Lesta owner Malik Kahastev and WarGaming.net owner Viktor Kisley, and to collect 100% of Lesta's shares as state revenue. I'm still learning, I'm a beginner, okay? Forgive me. Why are they doing this though? Well, because Wargaming wrote publications in support of Ukraine after they split with Lesta.
Lesta is protesting that they aren't actually doing anything wrong, but according to our friend, artist, and game dev Rikani, who helped us with the translations, there's already been movement in restricting Lesta, and the CEO of Lesta has been charged with extremism. The case has technically been going on for the last 2 weeks, but the court case isn't scheduled until May, so we'll see what happens then. No word exactly on what that means for the rest of the world, but we'll keep an eye on this. As we mentioned in the intro, there is more Nintendo news, but we're not letting Booster have an opinion on this one, so yeah. As you know, during the Switch 2 reveal earlier this month, we found out that select Switch games will be getting upgrades specific for the Switch 2. We knew that both Zelda upgrades for the Switch 2 editions would cost $9.99 each, but for Mario Party Jamboree and Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the upgrades will instead be a whopping $20.
How the fuck are they gonna upgrade Kirby? Give him more car to suck on? Anyway, now Mario Party and Kirby are slightly different from...
I regret everything! I regret everything I've ever done!
Whatever. Mario Party and Kirby are going to be slightly different cases than the Zelda upgrades, as both games will also be getting slight expansions with the upgrades, and those expansions are exclusive to the Switch 2. With Mario Party, you get a game mode where you get to see how fat you are, where the game will physically show you in-game using the Switch 2's camera, which is weird. And Kirby gets a new level. That's all we got on that.
While those are both interesting, I don't know if that really justifies the price. It's not like you can see any of the Switch 2's enhancements without paying for the upgrades. With all the news on the new prices, the extra $10 still doesn't seem very worth it. They could have just sold the expansion separately as like Switch 2 exclusive DLCs and giving you the upgrades for free. But you know, new Nintendo, I guess.
I refrain from having an opinion on this piece this week. According to a report on Gematsu, based on pre-orders for third-party Switch 2 physical releases that are not enhanced ports from third-party games. Look, no matter how I word this, it's not going to make any sense unless I word it all out. According to a report on Gematsu, based on pre-orders for third-party Switch 2 physical releases that aren't enhanced ports, they are not in fact actual physical releases, instead being one of Nintendo's game key cards, meaning despite being a physical release, you will still need the internet to play the game for the first time. That is some fucking jargon, man. Did that make sense to you, Ellie?
I had to slowly put the pieces together, but I got it.
Okay, as long as... I'm sorry, guys. I tried. This week's Buried Alive Banger, a segment where we cover a game our community doesn't think has had enough attention, is Haste.
Have you ever wondered what would make Sonic the Hedgehog better? Different fan base, probably. Think about if Sonic was a really cute girl who ran super fast. Well, that's basically Haste. And as the game suggests, you run, and the better you land in the procedurally generated courses, the faster you go. The interesting twist is that it's also a roguelite.
Not that that really matters. I've never needed to use that part.
But it's only $20, so if you feel like going fast, go get it.
And here are the games coming out this week. I don't know what any of them are, but if you guys do and are looking forward to them, let us know in the comments below.
And here's our schedule for this week. I'll be playing Nikki tonight after the update, and again tomorrow because it's a big update, and I'm excited. And also, there is more Elden Ring and probably Expedition 33 Booster.
That's all we have for you this week. As always, thank you for watching, and if you've made it all the way to the end, post a tooth, because we're getting dirty in Deepton. If you know, you know.
And as always, a very special thank you to all of our channel members. We really couldn't ask for a better community. If you'd like to show more support for Necro News, becoming a member will give you access to bonus content like bloopers, sneak peeks, and other cool stuff.
But anyway, that's all. So until next time,
Goodbye.